I'm Annelisa Mendepaco, the Digital Scholarship Manager at UWC Library. We'll be facilitating the session today. I have my colleagues Jacques Manuels who will be manning the chat. So if you've got any questions that you would like to ask, please insert them on the chat and he will interrupt me if he sees fit, or we can spare them for the question and answer session at the end. I also have Mr. Janusz Skarzinski, who's the Faculty of Arts librarian, who will also be available for support during the session. The session will be recorded. The recording will be made available in a few days' time via the LibCal invitation you received or on the eCanva learning management system. Either way, you are going to get a notification when the recording is available. Okay, so today's session is based on databases and the literature search strategies that one can use when they are embarking on a literature search journey, because there's a variation of resources that you can find information on. Here we will be doing a breakdown of all those resources and the access points and the kind of resources that the UWC library collection has for you. Okay, so I would first likely to briefly describe a database. Many of us may know briefly what a database is, but for those who may not be familiar, a database is a searchable collection of information. It's usually consisting of different types of sources such as journal articles, magazines, newspapers and newspaper articles, books in the form of electronic books, which we know as ebooks, or even print books. So all those types of information sources, when they are collated into one search engine, they are referred to as a database. So each database may contain many items, up to thousands of items, which will be published from different entry points, some from journals, some from ebook suppliers, and so on. So the simplest way of finding items on a database is by looking items up through a keyword search. So if a database has got thousands and millions of items, it's quite impossible to look through and find what you actually want. So the most effective way of finding information on a database is using a precise and accurate keyword search. So we have these steps to finding literature sources from the UWC library collection. Firstly, you would need to identify the type of sources that you need. In this case, I've made examples or reference to journal articles, books, and thesis and dissertations. You would also need to locate the literature in terms of maneuvering our website and resources on the library website, whether you'd find the resources under subject databases or multidisciplinary databases. We do have databases that strictly focus on one subject or area of expertise, such as PubMed and LexisNexis, as well as Access Pharmacy. Then we have multidisciplinary databases that we are going to focus on today, which contain a variety of information across disciplines, across faculties, and multidisciplinary content that overlaps across all the various disciplines. So some of those, or the few that we're going to look at today, is Scopus and Web of Science, and also Science Direct. Then the method in which we're going to use when we're searching for items on the database is a search strategy. We'll first begin by doing a topic example where we will be breaking down the topic into key concepts, and then we find alternative key terms to use for searching. And we'll also find some databases such as PubMed also offer what we know as mesh terms. This will be familiar to mainly health sciences students who use mesh terms of their medical concepts and medical terms. But in terms of the other databases, there isn't really mesh terms, but they do have a built-in controlled vocabulary, which is the one that pops up suggestions when you are typing a keyword on the database. Then once we've done with the breakdown of the topic, we'll organize the search string into using Boolean logic so that we can insert the entire search string on the database. So other access points of information that UWC Library offers is our ETD repository, where you'll find previous research by different students from the 7 faculties. So if you're looking at finding previous theses and dissertations from your faculty or your department, or those that were supervised by your supervisor, then the go-to point for UWC is the UWC Scholar ETD repository. Then we have other tools and software and plugins that are necessary or that are very useful when you are doing a literature search, such as reference management software, Mendeley, Zotero, and EndNote. We also have other free plugins that are available from Google Play Store and iStore, where you can install browser extensions that will identify open access content for you. This is especially important for international students or students who do not reside within UWC's IP address, those who are staying off campus. So sometimes you may need access to open access content, or you may have issues with signing into the library website for off campus. But then if you have some of these plugins, then you won't miss out on open access content. So these browser plugins can be installed on the Chrome browser. Some are supported by the Safari browser and the Firefox browser. When you're doing a search, they will pop up to identify items if they find openly available content. Then we also have other tools such as a systematic review tool that UWC promotes, which is Covidence in our case, but there's plenty of other tools and artificial intelligent tools that are emerging that can assist you with doing your research. As you will see on my 2 images on the screen, there's quite a lot. Doesn't mean that you need to employ all of them, but you choose all those ones that will make your life easier and are easy to use. So some of the alternatives to the Covidence systematic review tools is the Ryan. So you can try that out, but as UWC Library support and we do training on Covidence and offer support on Covidence and not yet on the other systematic review software. We also offer some of the citation management software. Recently, we've offered a Zotero training session and Mendeley, although Mendeley is currently having unresolved issues, but majority of students are still using Mendeley. And we also have EndNote amongst our options, which is the institutionally paid version of EndNote 21 that we also offer support on. So you can try out some of these tools that are on the screen. I thought I should just share them with you, but this does not necessarily mean that we offer support on all of them, but it's interesting tools that are trending in the research field. So now we're coming down to the topic example I was referring to. So the topic example that we have is an investigation of the impact of hydraulic fracturing on water pollution. So the main key concept that have been identified from this topic is hydraulic fracturing, which may be referred to as fracking or hydrofracking or hydrofracturing. So all of these are listed under the alternative key terms column. The alternative key terms column are the terms that you will exchange, you'll keep replacing one with the other depending on what a database is giving you. So it does not mean that if you have 6 alternative key terms that you should use all of them. But as as you are doing your literature, you will be able to eliminate some of the terms that give you satisfactory results and those that are not really working for your particular search. So it's just a safety method to have them somewhere to use when needed. Then we also have some alternative key terms for water and pollution as well. And then in terms of combining the alternative keywords in a search string, you use the OR operator. So we have three main Boolean logic operators that we use. The most used one is the AND, which connects your keywords. The OR is the one that we use when we have different terms referring to the same concept. The NOT operator is not so much used, but it is also available when one needs to use it. Then we have what we know as phrase searching, where we combine a search term. As you see here on my screen, on my number one search string, I have hydraulic fracturing in inverted commas because I'm instructing the database to find me hydraulic fracturing as it is. So one word next to the other, and not find me different documents mentioning fracking and hydraulic other terms. So when you inserting the quotation marks, you literally telling the database to combine the keywords and give you results that have those identified either in the title or in the abstract of the document. Then I have my second search string there. On my second search string, I have removed a few of the alternative keywords, and we'll see how this works in a database. One important aspect of searching for literature is signing into the UWC library website, whether you are on campus or off campus. It's a good habit to get used to. When you are on campus, it's not so much of an issue because you normally do your work on the UWC's IP address. So automatically, the databases that will be approaching will recognize that you are a UWC staff member or student. But very important, when you are off campus or outside of the UWC's IP address, then you need to identify yourself as a UWC user, where you log into the library website with your eCanva details and you proceed to searching. In that way, you won't be missing out on electronic resources that UWC pays for via subscription. But if you continue your search, you'll still get a few items, but you'll only be limiting yourself to the openly access items only. Okay, so those were my few introductory slides, and these are some of the useful links that one can explore. Okay, so I am now going to open a web browser. Okay. Okay, so on our web browser, I'm going to go to the UWC library web page. Okay, once we are on the UWC library web page, I'll just click on the search box without typing any keywords so that before I do anything else, I can quickly sign into the UWC library website. So that is what I'm doing now. I'm clicking on sign in. Okay, my details are saved here so that I don't forget. So I'll just proceed to log in. Okay, once I've logged in, I can see my name displaying on the top right-hand side of the screen. And I can look at the library items that I currently have checked out. I've got about 13 loan items. and I can see all their due dates. If I had fines, I'll click on fines and then see all my library issues that I need to resolve. Then, okay, let's go back here. Then under search history on this menu, you are able to see your saved searches. So if you've had sessions on your Ukwazi library discovery tool and you saved them, you will find them sitting here. And also if you have favorites saved under your account, there may be items that when you're browsing through, you don't have time to look or read at the time. But if you mark them as favorites, they stay here so that you can quickly go to them when you have time to look at them. You don't have to do the search all over again. So those will be stored under your favorites. Okay, so let me click on new search. And I'm looking for my slides. Okay, there they are. So I just want this search string over here. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the entire search string. Copy. Okay, so I'll paste it here. Because my keyboard has got some typing issues, I'll just remove the last part. Okay, so in fact, let me remove all of that. So here, I'm trying to demonstrate to you the use of the OR. Okay, so I'm inserting hydraulic fracking now as a standalone keyword. Okay, so it's giving us 597 items. But because I want to expand my search, I will also insert hydro fracturing, which is one term, and I don't need to insert quotation marks around it. Okay, so we had 597 items, but because let's say I think I'm missing out on some items that may refer to fracking as hydrofracturing, I think, okay, let me try my other alternative term and see what comes up. Then if I search, I should be expecting to see an increase in my number of results. Okay, so just by inserting hydrofracturing, I have more than doubled the number of results I had previously. So by this, I'm trying to demonstrate that your alternative keywords expand your search. So if you're not happy with hydrofracking, then try and insert hydrofracturing. Then we can go further and extend this string to entering other variations of the fracking term. Okay, so I am going to close that up in brackets. Remember, my search is on hydrofracking, and so with the end, currently on our results, we have hydrofracking relating to other concepts. So this one is referring to chemical modeling. This one is just fracturing systems, and it's modeling again. But remember, I'm looking for hydrofracking in relation to water pollution. So perhaps this article will still come up when I insert water. Okay, so we can say hydrofracking and water. In that way, we will be reducing the number of results that we have because we will be eliminating any document that has been listed here which does not refer to hydro fracking and water. Okay, so if I click on search, my number of results from about 1.6, it has been reduced to just 900 items. Okay, so if I scroll down, you'll see that some of my items have hydrofracking in the title. Some will be mentioned in the abstract or in the body of the article. So most databases search the title the abstract, and the body of the article. So if you by any chance perhaps see, for instance, this item here, we don't see water in this title, we don't see hydrofracking or hydrofracturing, but definitely those two terms are mentioned somewhere in the actual document. So that is how the databases pull up information. So sometimes don't be quick to discard items because your keywords are not appearing on the title or on the abstract. Okay, so I quickly add on and pollution. Okay, pollution. Oops. Let me try that again. Okay, so I am reducing my results even further now, because in terms of water, I'm looking for water contamination or water pollution due to hydrofracturing. So from about 900 items, we are now brought down to 300 items. So this is basically how the and and the or and the bracketing and the phrase searching work in a search strategy. This is the kind of work that they do, or this is the impact that they have on your results. So if I say by any chance, okay, I'm not happy with 317 items, I will use my alternative term here. Remember on our where's my slide now? On our PowerPoint presentation, we have an alternative term for pollution, which is contamination. Okay, so let's see what kind of impact will that have on our search. So I'm back here. I am going to attempt to expand my search by inserting contamination. Contamination. Then I click on search. Okay, so there was a definite change to my number of results, but not so much. I think I had 317 items, but now I have 350. So what basically means now is that the database, in this case, which is our library discovery tool, Ukwazi, has also included other items that discuss hydrofracturing and water, but refer to pollution as contamination instead of pollution. Okay, so then from this stage, when you are happy with your search strategy, then you can go and duplicate your search strategy across other databases. And again, when you get there, you play around and see which key terms are giving you nice results and which ones are not very much useful. Okay, like I mentioned before, there are so many things that you can do here. So if I want, I can save this query. Let's say I don't have the time to look through and assess which types of items I want to have a look at here now, but I can do it later. Then I can save my query. It will go and stay under my saved favorites or search history. Okay, and again, when you are here, the Ukwazi search defaults on everything. So you can refine your search to only include articles. And then you click on search, then the results will eliminate any item that is not an article. So we've left with only 349 items. Then if you're looking for electronic books on the topic, you can change your default setting to ebooks. And for these search terms that we've entered here, we only discovered only just one ebook. Okay, and then obviously if you're looking for physical items, you can also do that. Okay, let me go back to everything. And most importantly, on the left-hand side of the screen, this is where you then venture off into looking for more items on databases. So the Ukwazi Library Discovery Tool is sort of a starting point. And from here, you can see, okay, there's some more items on Scopus, on EBSCOhost, on Elsevier or Science Direct, and so on. Okay, so this is when you choose whether or not to stick to the results that you have, or you want to go and look for more resources on the databases, which is what we're going to do now. Okay, so I'm going to click on the library web page. Then I go to databases. I'll click on the A to Z list of databases. But if you would like to know databases by discipline, those that are recommended for your faculty or your subject, then you can go to databases by subject. But because this is a generic workshop, I'll stick to the multidisciplinary databases. Then I'm going to start with Science Direct. Okay, if I scroll down, I'm looking for Science Direct. Okay, it's over here. Okay, databases differ in size, and as far as my knowledge is concerned, Scopus is the largest database. So Scopus lists or indexes majority of databases, and Web of Science. Yes, Web of Science is also a big database, but it is not as big as Scopus. Then Science Direct is a smaller version of Scopus as well. And in terms of Science Direct, you have a combination of books and journals. So if you click on journals and books, you can do, because books have titles, you wouldn't want to use a search strategy as such when you're looking for an ebook, but you would perhaps say water, which will bring up water research, water pollution, so on and so forth. Let me just say water pollution. Okay, so after doing a search on water pollution, it's brought up 16 titles. Okay, different titles. And from here, you can judge whether or not you would like to get into a book or not. And you can also try one of your key terms to see what will come up. So I'm now trying fracturing, and I have 9 items. So you see, the first one is giving us a title on multi-stage fracturing. The second one is quite precise because we are looking for hydraulic fracturing. Okay, but like I said, doing a search strategy here wouldn't give you precise results, because this is a small collection of books and it's searching the titles only. So you would miss out on the majority of books that discuss fracturing or water pollution. Okay, and if you're interested in one of the books, you just click on the title and you scroll down. You look at the available chapters. You can download one chapter at a time, or you can download the entire book depending on the license that is attached to the ebook. And the only way to find out what the license is to download, is to perhaps say full text access, and maybe when you're trying to download the entire book, it will prevent you from downloading the entire book, and it will give you the limitation to say you can download 30 pages or one chapter and so on. Okay, then we go back to where we can use our search strategy. So I'll click on the Science Direct logo. Okay, so here it says find articles with these terms. So this is where now we can play around with our search strategy. Okay, so I am going to use my shortened version of the search strategy. Copy. Okay, so I'm gonna paste all of it here. Okay, if you notice, I just paste my search strategies on these databases because I've got them nicely done and ready to be inserted in databases. And then from here, I can just remove the terms that I feel maybe they are causing my results to not be what I want, or I can go to the end of my search string and just expand it, perhaps add pollution there so that I can expand. Okay, so you can do it whichever method works for you, but having them ready and sorted out and connected into a search string makes your life much easier. Okay, so I've just inserted that one and we got about 1,223 items. Say now I think, okay, maybe I want to expand it right here to include my other alternative key term as well, which is pollution. Then I just open up the bracket. Remember, the search strategy is a language that a database understands. So if you are missing one of your brackets, let's see if it will react to that. Okay, it didn't react. But in some databases, if you are missing a bracket or if you are missing an inverted comma somewhere, then it impacts your results. Okay, so we initially had about 1,200 items. Then I expanded, or I instructed the database to give me documents that also refer to contamination as pollution, and my number of results has increased to 1,900. So here you can scroll down and see which items would be of interest to you. And if you want to save the search alert, if you don't want to come to Science Direct and repeat the search strategy again, then you can save the search alert and give it a name. Okay, and then you can instruct it to give you weekly alerts whenever there's a new item that's added to the database and reflects to your topic. It must inform you. So you can set it for a monthly alert or a weekly alert, whichever frequency you prefer. Okay, so in order for you to be able to do these extra things such as saving items, saving search alerts on all databases, you need to create an account. As you can see, I am signed in. So if I click on my name and I click on sign out, okay, so when I am not signed in, it gives me the option to register. So as a person who doesn't own an account, you can click on register or sign in like I did previously. So my details are saved here. I just click on sign in and then it takes me through. Then from my account, I can look at different things. I can look at my search history. Okay, and on my search history, I have this fracking search that I just did now. And I also have my alerts. I can manage my alerts. Let's say now you're done with the research topic, you're no longer interested. You can delete your search alerts. Okay, where are my search alerts? Click okay, so there's my saved search alert. It's over here. If I want to delete it, I decide I don't need this anymore. I can just click on this sign and it will be deleted. Okay, I'm not so quite sure what the recommendations refer to. Oh, I haven't used the recommendations function. Okay, and you can obviously change your password as many times as you wish. Okay, so this is basically the same across all databases. Okay, so now we are now going to go to Scopus. Okay, so on the A to Z list, I have my Scopus database. Okay, so on Scopus, again, you can create an account and you can save lists of items that you wish to look at. You can save your searches, you can create your alerts, and you can do quite a few other things. Okay, so again, because I'm signed in, I don't see the option to register, but it would be here when I sign out. Okay, so as I mentioned, Scopus is one of the largest, is the largest databases that UWC Library subscribes to. Its coverage is multidisciplinary. You'll find all kinds of topics and disciplines on the Scopus database. So it gives you an option to search all fields or to search within the article, the abstract and title, and to search for authors, and to also search for your affiliation. Let's say you are interested in finding out what UWC authors research, or what is the topics that they research mostly on, or you're looking to follow an author, maybe it's your supervisor or your head of department, to see what kind of publications do they have, then you can do an author search here and then create a search alert from there. So every time they publish something, you will be notified via email. So here on Scopus, I want to paste my, okay, let's just do the similar search like we did on Ukwazi, just to emphasize the functionality of the Boolean operators again here on Scopus. So I have 114 items on hydrofracking. So if I expand my search to hydrofracturing, okay, I am attempting to expand my search, because maybe sometimes I'm thinking, okay, I'm missing out on those items that use the hydrofracturing term. Okay, so let's see if it will actually expand or it won't recognize the term. Okay, so just by inserting hydrofracturing again, my number was more than doubled. So now I have about 1,000 items. Then I close up my first part of the search. Okay, so I'm doing this because I'm now inserting another keyword. So I have hydrofracturing and water. By this, I'm reducing my number to strictly give me results on hydrofracturing and water. Okay, then I further use my other keyword. Let's see, pollution. Okay, I now have pollution added there. So from 619 items, my number of results was extremely reduced to 90 documents. Then I may decide that, okay, I'm not happy with this number. Perhaps let me include my contamination key term, because maybe most journals prefer that term. This also links to the controlled vocabulary concept that I mentioned earlier. So in a specific discipline or in a specific subject area, there will be a standard term that is used for whatever concept. So in other disciplines, the standard concept could be contamination, or in another discipline or subject area, the standard term could be pollution. So if you use one of them, then you're missing out on the rest of the items that prefer the other alternative term. So let's see what will happen if I try to expand my search to include more. Okay, so it has worked, but the difference isn't that significant, but at least it has increased from 90 to 117. So from here, uh, so many things you can do on databases to limit your items or restrict to a date, and also a subject area if you wish. So if you are environmental science, then you may want to align your search to the Scopus assigned subject areas, and someone else may be looking at only journal articles and want to exclude all other referencing types. Okay, so again, in terms of affiliation, if you're only interested at research that was only conducted by UWC researchers, then you can limit your search to that. And also in terms of open access, then you can also use those filters over here. Okay, so with the new Scopus, you click on that, and then I've refined my documents from 2017 to 2023. Okay, so one thing I've forgotten to mention during my search is that those plugins that I mentioned, this is one of them that keeps popping up on the left-hand side of my screen. Then I also have my reference management software plugins installed. For instance, there is my Zotero plugin. And if I want to export these results that are on this page, then I just click on my plugin right at the top, and then it gives me an option to choose a folder. Okay, then I can just drop it in my library without selecting a folder. Then I click on a done. Okay, so all my references will be in my Scopus folder, except that I didn't make a selection. Let's see. Okay. Then I click there. Okay. And if you're using EndNote, you can use your EndNote Click plugin. If you're using Mendeley, then you can use your Mendeley plugin, or you can simply click on the export functions. Then you select the relevant reference managing software that you use. Okay, so the articles are displayed in this manner, where you can go into the article if you want to download this particular one and check out other details, such as the number of times that the article has been cited and other indexed keywords that this article refers to. Okay, so if you look here on my right-hand side of the screen, this is my unpaywall plugin, and it's showing me that there is no open access version of this item. So it says the unpaywall extension could not find any legal open access version of this article. So this question is also sometimes asked by users, is if these plugins are not breaking the law and intervening copyright restrictions, and the answer is no. The plugins only source they only source freely and openly available content, so they are not illegal items that break into publishers' website and steal restricted items. Okay, so it will only be green when the item is actually free and available without restrictions. Okay, but in any case, I wouldn't need this now because I'm in the UWC. I've signed into the UWC website and I've got an option to download this article. Okay, cannot be downloaded. Okay, I need to download the Scopus document downloader, which I am not going to do for this session. Okay, but the article is available to UWC subscribers. There is the PDF and there is the full text options, and you can export it to yourself. Okay, so the last database that I would like to show you is the Web of Science database. I'll click under W, and there is Web of Science right at the top. Okay, so the Web of Science database is also a multidisciplinary database. You can search for documents, you can search for researchers, in your faculty, or if you are an established researcher yourself, you can look up your name to see how your author profile is performing. Okay, but for today, we are interested in the documents. Again, if you don't have an account registered with ORCID, I mean, with Web of Science, you won't be able to save your searches or documents and things like that until you register. Okay, so let me just sign in so that I'll be able to demonstrate those functions to you. Okay, so you can sign in with your institutional email address, or you can use other profiles to sign into Web of Science. So I'm going to use my institutional email address. Okay, then I'm signed in. It recognizes me. Then under my profile and profile settings. Okay, so under my profile, I can see my profile. Unfortunately, I'm not an established researcher. I don't have nice graphics such as by citations, H-index, and all other uh, details. But I have attached my ORCID number, which is something you should also consider doing, so that whenever you publish on Web of Science or Scopus or any of the databases, your ORCID account is populated. So you can do that here. And on the side, you can see other details. But fortunately for me, I don't have anything to show because I'm not an established researcher. Okay, so we are on the search box and we are looking for fracking. So I'm going to use this key term for a change. Okay, I have fracking, but you see here, I didn't set up my search limitations to the abstract title and the body of the article. So my search is defaulted to a topic, but where you can limit your search to your article, title, and abstract. Author. Okay, so here you've got an option to limit your search to just the title. So if you limit it to just the title, the database is going to look for your keywords just in the title. So if a document doesn't have the keywords listed in the title, it will be eliminated. Okay, so if you have all fields, it actually explains here, searches all of the searchable fields, which include the title, the abstract, and the body of the article. Okay, but in terms of topic, the topic searches, the abstract as well, the author keywords, and those keywords or subject classifications as assigned by Web of Science. Okay, so I think the best option in this case is all fields. Then we click on search. Okay, so all fields has actually expanded our search. Then we want to refine it. Or hydro. Okay, let's see if it's actually going to expand. Okay, yes, it did. Okay, and then we go back to say, all right, in relation to what? In relation to the other thing we can do with our keywords, for instance, if you don't want to say water, we can combine water pollution into a phrase because it can be a phrase. So this time I'm using water pollution as a phrase. Okay, so it's brought us to just 19 items. Okay, so this is where your decision-making functions, where you think, okay, it was not a good idea for me to combine or make water pollution a phrase. Let me rather stick to water as a standalone term and pollution as a standalone term because I'm not happy with 19 items. Okay, so we're back to 87 items. And if I want to exhaust all my options, I say or contamination. Okay, excuse my lower and uppercase. Contamination, then I click on search. Okay. We are now at 161 items. Okay. So when you reach a decision that, okay, this is useful, then you may just scroll on your items and then let me close the left pane. Okay, then you can use your search filters, date limitations if you wish, tick all the relevant boxes, and languages. I know with people doing systematic reviews, this is a requirement. You just click on the language and you can just go and select more filters as necessary. Okay, so here you've got your reference management tool plugins. If you're using EndNote, you just click on your EndNote click plugin. And if you use Zotero, you just click on your Zotero plugin. You select everything that you want to export and you click OK. It goes to your Zotero account. Or you can click on select all records if you want all of them, or you do your selection and then click on export. You'll get further options on how you can export your references. So here you've got EndNote Online, EndNote Desktop, you've got RefWorks. We don't subscribe to RefWorks. And you've got the RIS format somewhere. Oh, here. So RIS format would work for Mendeley as well as Zotero, depending on what you actually have installed on your PC. Okay, so here you can save a search alert. So we've refined our search. I'm happy. I can create an alert and name the alert fracturing. Okay, and then I can choose if I want the alert or not, or if I'm saving this search for the purpose of saving and not wanting to come back here and duplicate my effort into putting together a search string. Or I can create the search alert so that it informs me every time there's a new item that relates to the keywords that I've inserted. Okay, so if I want to indicate whether it's weekly or monthly, then you go to your search alerts, manage search alerts, and I can see it's active. I can deactivate it. Under more options, I am able to say, please not daily. I don't want daily alerts. Or I am prepared to look at anything weekly, but definitely not monthly. Okay. But if I want to remove the alerts, like I said, I'm just keeping this search just for the sake of coming to run it again. There it says rerun the search. Then I remove the part that says it will send the alert to me. Okay, so we've covered the Ukwazi Discovery Tool and the Scopus database, Science Direct, and Web of Science. Okay, so basically, colleagues, what I was trying to capture on this session was that you can use your keywords effectively if you sit down and break your topic nicely and you get your alternative keywords, so that you even have a set of keywords that you know these ones will definitely work and these ones are just on standby. So the process is the same across databases. You start with breaking down your topic and then you go to the databases knowing exactly what you are looking for. And when those search terms are not working, you chop and change according to what you have put together. Okay, so The reference management software tools work across all databases. There'll be an option to export to RefWorks, Mendeley, Zotero, EndNote, and many other reference management software. You just need to decide which one is suitable for you or is user-friendly for you as the user. Okay, so I think I've reached the end of my session. Colleagues, if there are any questions, burning questions in the chat, could you please let me know so that I can attempt to address them?
Not
Jacques?
really any questions, Annalisa. So it's
Mhm.
just people that felt that you were speaking too softly, but that's fine. There's no real questions in the chat.
Oh, okay. But was I audible enough?
Yeah, we could hear
Yes,
you.
definitely. I heard you really well.
Oh, thanks, colleagues. I'm sorry I didn't see that comment earlier. Okay, colleagues, if there are no further questions, you are more than welcome to contact me if you've got a question after this session, or if you feel you need a one-on-one session, you may contact any one of us. Yanush is also online, the Faculty of Arts librarians, or you may contact your designated faculty librarians in your faculties, or you may make contact with me and I will assist where I can. Um, Jacques, please share my email address on the chat, or preferably participants can email me on the library research email, the one that sends out the reminders of the sessions, and the one that we use for our Icanva page.
Okay, I'll do so.
Okay. All right. Yes, as I've mentioned in the beginning of the section, the recording will be posted on Icanva and to all the participants that were attending the session today. Thank you so much, colleagues, for coming through. I hope this was useful. You managed to learn a thing or two, and you are welcome to contact us for further engagement. Thank you so much.